Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn Daily English podcast. I'm Emily, and this is your go to place for improving your English one step at a time without spending a single penny.
And I'm Jake. We're so excited to have you here. Whether you're just starting out or you've been learning English for a while, this podcast is designed to make your journey fun, easy, and totally free.
Absolutely. Today, we're going to talk about how you can improve your English skills without paying for expensive classes, apps, or tutors. Because let's face it, not everyone has the time or money for that, right?
Exactly. And here's the thing, there are so many amazing resources out there that you can use for free, from podcasts like ours to videos, books, and even just everyday conversations. We'll get into all of that in a bit. But first, Emily, I have to ask, how did you start learning English?
Funny you asked, Jake. English wasn't my first language, and when I started, I didn't have access to fancy courses. I learned by listening to songs, watching movies with subtitles, and practicing with friends. What about you?
Well, English is my first language, but I've learned other languages the same way. Honestly, the best method is to immerse yourself in the language. It's not about how much money you spend, it's about using what's around you creatively. And that's what we're here to help our listeners with.
Exactly. So let's dive in. Here's a question for you, listeners. What's your English level? Are you a beginner, just learning the basics? An intermediate speaker, working on fluency? Or advanced and fine tuning your skills? Let us know.
Well, shoot us a comment under this video. We'd love to hear about your journey. And while you're at it, tell us, how are you learning English right now? Are you using apps, watching movies, or maybe just chatting with friends?
They want to know because everyone's learning style is different, and your story might inspire someone else who's listening. And Jake, speaking of styles, what's one of your favorite tips for improving English for free?
Hmm. I'd say listening to podcasts like this one is such an easy way to hear how the language is spoken naturally. You pick up grammar, vocabulary, and even pronunciation without even realizing it. What about you, Emily?
For me, it's reading. And I don't mean textbooks. I mean fun stuff like short stories, articles, or even social media posts. Reading exposes you to new words and helps you understand how they're used in context.
Great point. And listeners, here's a little challenge for you. After today's episode, try combining these two methods. Listen to a podcast episode, then find a short article about something you're interested in and read it. You'll be surprised how much you pick up.
Love that idea. And here's another tip: practice speaking. Don't worry about making mistakes, just talk. You can practice by recording yourself, talking to a friend, or even joining free language exchange groups online.
That's such a good one, Emily. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress. No one speaks a new language flawlessly overnight, but every small step counts.
Exactly. And Jake, let's talk about another free resource, your surroundings. What's one way someone can use their everyday environment to practice English?
Oh, that's easy. Labels. Look at the labels on food, clothing, or signs around you. Try to read them out loud and think about what they mean. It's a simple way to expand your vocabulary.
Love it. And here's a fun one. When you're watching your favorite TV show or movie, turn on the subtitles in English. It's a game changer. You're not only listening to how words are pronounced, but also seeing how they're spelled.
That's such a good tip. And listeners, don't forget, you don't need to spend hours every day. Even just 10 or 15 minutes can make a big difference if you're consistent.
Right. So here's what we want to know from you. What's your English level? How are you learning right now? And what's one challenge you're facing in your journey? Let us know because we want to tailor our content for your journey.
Yeah, this podcast isn't just about us talking. It's about creating a community of learners who help and inspire each other. So don't be shy. We'd love to hear from you.
And before we wrap up, here's a little motivation. Remember, every single day you spend learning, even if it's just for a few minutes, is a step closer to fluency. You've got this.
Absolutely. And we're here to help you every step of the way. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, share this podcast with a friend, and let's keep learning together.
Thanks for listening to Learn Daily English podcast. Until next time, keep practicing, stay curious, and most importantly, have fun with it.
See you the next episode, everyone. Take care and happy learning.
Oh, yes. Are you forgetting something, Jake?
What's that, Emily?
Ugh, how viewers can show their love to us. How
Oh, yes. Not only share and subscribe, but also like this podcast and comment below. And see you in the next podcast.